Hello, everyone, and me, and we're back to another Monday on Jaspreet's vlogging channel. Yeah, interesting intro, eh? So here we are after another week, and yeah, it's a really lovely day outside today. I've been out in it for a little bit, which has been nice. Yeah, the mood is a little bit playful, I think, today. I've just come back from meeting a client, and this is nothing to do with the coaching side of things. This is about a year ago, I decided to put up a profile to dog walk, and the platform also attracts people that have cats. So I still have my profile up there. I have been contemplating taking it down, but yeah, let's see what happens. But yeah, I had a client contact me. They have a lovely little cat that needs taking care of whilst they're visiting their family for the first time since lockdown has started easing. And I just felt an urge to help out. I think it's not like I'm doing it for the money. It's never been about that, really, when I started doing it last year. And the reason why I decided to create this profile and start dog walking / now taking care of a cat is because I decided to follow something that brings me joy in life. I've always enjoyed spending time with dogs, and I just thought, what's the harm? There's nothing to lose here. And I think I've noticed that, because last year when I wasn't obviously pursuing coaching, I was just being wherever I was at in life. I noticed this kind of feeling insecure about my situation. And whenever someone who didn't know me very well would ask me what I'm up to, I used to just panic and feel really unhappy about where I was at. I didn't feel comfortable. Even though there were days that I did feel comfortable within myself, when it came to presenting myself to somebody who didn't know me very well, all of a sudden I'd go into this kind of, this isn't something to be proud of, what you're doing. And also, what are you doing? How do you explain it to someone? And I don't think I've really kind of gone into that here either yet. I think that's probably to come another time. But yeah, I just remember feeling very kind of anxious whenever I knew I was going into a situation where I'm going to get asked these questions, and somehow I would navigate through it and feel quite crappy about it actually afterwards. And some of that is to do with perhaps the response I'm getting from people, but a lot of it was how I was talking to myself internally, what picture I was painting for myself about what I'm going through, and being quite hard on myself, feeling like what I'm doing isn't worthy. I think I've talked about that previously, about, showing the world that you're achieving. When you're not in achieve mode, what are you doing? And yeah, having a major insecurity around that what are people going to think, Are they going to get it? And if they don't get it, how does that sit with me? So yeah, there were some, not many, but some occasions where I used to really doubt myself, doubt what I'm doing, down talk myself, feel insecure, feel anxious, all these kinds of feelings. And then something like dog walking came around, and yeah, that's where the link is here. I knew that in some circles, when I start saying that I'm a dog walker, it's going to look a certain way. And there is something about culture here as well. That's quite a big piece. And I guess what I want to say about that is it's just not an ordinary thing to do in life, to call yourself a dog walker when you come from an Indian background, you know? I mean, even what I ended up doing previously to taking this break, like the choices that I've made in life. For instance, I decided to study geography as my degree. Not a very Indian thing to do. I worked in HR. I'm not sure if that's an Indian thing or not. Indians do work in HR, but not many from my experience. But then again, I was working in organisations that weren't particularly multicultural. So I'm not sure on that one, but not typically Indian, let's say that. And then I decided to take a break from everything. And I'm not sure how Indian that is either. I haven't to date come across, I say to date, but yeah, actually maybe because of this kind of me pivoting and going down a different route, I've actually come across people of a similar background to me. Maybe not exactly, but a similar Indian upbringing, who are going through this, questioning of where they're at in life, and does that really bring them happiness, and what else could they be doing that does. So that's happened only because I've taken that direction, that turn. Had I not, I'm not sure if I would have come across people of a similar background to me. And yeah, so when I would say that I'm a dog walker, particularly in, say my family, my husband's family, that was at the back of my mind. Like, what do people make of that? However, in comparison to just not having anything to talk about, like, or at least feeling comfortable to talk about what I'm doing, or the undoing really, because I wasn't doing a lot. When I would then, this time last year, I think it was June last year, that I decided to register a profile, it didn't feel so hard to just put myself out there to people and go, yeah, I'm dog walking. It just felt like it's justified. I know why I'm doing it. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of this. I'm doing it because I enjoy being in the company of dogs. So yeah, the whole mindset and mentality around feeling like I need to explain myself to others started shifting. I think it was from that point that it started shifting. And I guess that's what I want to say here. It's like, you don't realise that you're taking these small steps in life. You don't realise, like, those moments where things just feel a little bit more easier than they did before. It's only until you decide to create a vlog channel and you sit down and you start talking. No, I'm kidding. I have like had those moments of reflection on my own, and spoken to my husband and people that I'm fairly close to, and yeah, said that that's the change starting to occur, that I'm starting to feel like I can feel confident with where I'm at and not question myself, and not feel like, not make the focus about what are others thinking about this, and actually make the focus of this whole thing about what do I really think about this, because ultimately that's all that matters here. it feels like I have at least spent a lot of my life living for others without consciously doing it. I think this has happened a lot more on a subconscious level because I have to admit, I'm quite a free spirit. I tend to just follow my intuition with things and just go with things when it feels good. But underneath that, underneath the conscious level, there has been this subconscious, what are other people going to make of these decisions, and how does that make me feel? Like, is it acceptable that I'm dog walking, or is it something to be ashamed of? But yeah, I guess it's about realizing that for yourself, and the only way that you can do that, I felt from my experience, was following something that brings me joy, and dogs do. I love spending time with dogs, particularly our family dog, Yogi, and I'm kind of gutted that I didn't catch him on camera whilst I was visiting my family members. So yeah, and that's where things have started changing for me. And yeah, going back to why I'm in this playful mood is because I've gone off and I've, spent a bit of time, met this cat, met the owners who were really lovely, and I'm in this phase of transition again. And as we all are in life, like you move from one thing to another all the time. And I guess what I want to say about that is you don't always have to rush into anything or rush out of anything. I don't know at the moment if I want to continue doing that work anymore, but I'm just pondering over it. I'm gonna just hold it very lightly and just give it a think. And if after I've taken care of the cat, I've realised actually I don't need to be doing this anymore, and then that's fine. But there's no need to rush with any of this. You can take as long as you want with making those decisions. Yes, making decisions. The thing that I've been working on. And I think I've been making some really intuitive decisions recently. If I may, I might actually move on to that. But before I do, I think I'm going to have to take a sip of, this looks like water. It's actually elderflower cordial. And because the weather's really, well, it's not really hot, it's been warmer, hasn't it? I just felt like I needed something fruity. And normally it's the tea, right? But today I fancied, and it had ice cubes in it as well, I fancied a elderflower cordial. So I'm going to take a nice swig of this. That's really nice. Oh, I love that taste. Yeah, with the whole making decisions, I just thought I'd spend a bit of time of reflection on last week. And I said to a few people over the weekend, I've been having quite a magical time. And what I mean by that is things have just been flowing. I've kind of just gone, well, I'm just going to reach out to that person and I'm just going to ask and see what happens. And from that has come so much more, which is just kind of freaky, but also amazing at the same time. I did a friend of mine, as part of this, I think I mentioned that I've met an amazing group of women online. I haven't really met them in person, but through that, and now kind of the purpose of that, which is kind of us going on this 9-month journey together of just exploring ourselves and going through phases of like that exploration, and then what we want to bring into the world once we're coming towards the end of our journey. So yeah, as part of that, I've started. Where was I going with that? There's a reason why I brought that one up. Ah, yeah. I do have a tendency to do this sometimes. Forget my train of thought. So, on that, we, like women, have, the women that are part of this group have offered up things that they do, things that they can bring. And one of the things that stood out to me was tarot card reading. And I'd never done that before. So I decided to give it a go. And it's with the person that actually introduced me to the group, with this lovely lady called Jennifer. And it was really interesting what came out of that. And very like, the cards were speaking to where I'm at, which, you know, for any of those people out there watching that aren't particularly woo-woo about stuff, I just want to say that sometimes I'm not either. Like, when it came to, do I want to, like, with the tarot card reading, I did kind of question it as well. Like, it stood out to me, but at the same time I was like, do I really want to do this? But I'm so glad I did. The cards were very aligned to where I'm at currently. And one of the things that stood out for me was this butterfly rising from the ashes, and just, or like this kind of forest, like forage area. And the question that was posed at the end of the card was, so which direction will you go in? And that was like, wow. Because I do feel like at the moment there's all these kind of options that are being laid out in front of me, and it's about me deciding now what feels like the focus area. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just play with that for a bit. But there, that was interesting that the cards did that. And then out of that conversation with my friend Jennifer, she then said that I've recently connected with someone, and I think you two should talk. And it's with this lovely lady who's also decided to subscribe. So if you're watching this, thank you for subscribing. Her name's Nima, and we got talking, so we connected. And she's like one of those people that I was mentioning earlier, like someone of a similar ethnic origin. And she's, you know, come to this realization that there's so much about our culture that we've just accepted. And it's only until you're presented with another option that's possible now in life that you kind of go, well, why have I been living like this all my life then? Why have I just accepted things and not gone, you know, like strive for change and strive for things to be better? And we're on a similar page on that front. So I think I mentioned like a few videos ago, like I feel like this space on YouTube, or at least doing videos, or, you know, talking, is something that I'm really keen to keep exploring, and so is she. So we're gonna have a little brainstorming session together this week, and just see, you know, where our ideas take us, what feels good to us in terms of what could we do if we collaborated on something, what could we do? Or maybe the brainstorming will just lead us down our own paths. But it was just lovely. Like, the magic in that was, I've never met this person, we just spoke, a lot was like, yes, I feel the same too. And then it was kind of like, well, let's just meet. And she just lives like just like down the road, 10 minutes from me. So who knows where that's gonna go? But that's the magic in this. It's the whole, you don't know where you're going, but I feel like, you know, from where I was maybe 18 months ago. And this is what I said to the lovely group of ladies that I met up with. So we meet monthly. We met yesterday and we were asked, what identity are we letting go of and which one are we inviting in? And I said, I'm letting go of the fear of not knowing now, because there was a lot of that. There was a lot of questions and doubts, as I mentioned earlier, and anxiety. And instead, now I feel there's still a lot of unknown. There's so much that I don't know where life is leading me. But as the days go on, I'm starting to feel like there is a knowing deep down inside. I do know. And so I'm inviting in a self-knowing. Yeah, and that feels comforting. Starting to be confident in myself. And, like that's where the making decisions piece comes up. It's, little tactics and little things that I do on a daily basis that are going to start helping the bigger picture of the self-knowing to come together. And I do feel like it's coming together, and it's exciting stuff, and it's magical as well, and it feels so much more lighter, and I feel like there's a flow, a lot more of a flow. However, I will also admit that at the weekend, on Saturday, I was in a different mood. I was in a kind of wanting to just close myself off and not really do a lot. I spent most of the day on the couch actually, and I think maybe there was a feeling of I haven't done much today. But if this was me 6 months ago or even longer, I would have really come down hard on myself and been like, well, why did you spend your day like that? So yeah, those days are still coming up, but that's okay. And it's great to be sharing that's how, some of my time is going. It's not all like playful and, magical. Actually, there are days like that too, and that's also okay. So, on that, I will wrap things up and give you a big smile and say thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you here next week for some more of this, whatever this is. Before I go, I actually wanted to just show you my t-shirt because I was so excited to put it on yesterday for the Sisterhood catch up. So that's the group of women that I've joined. And also I'm going to stand up because I also want to just go, that's what I'm wearing. I don't think it's easy to see it properly, but I just want to kind of go, these are the kind of clothes that I feel more myself in these days, not the corporate dresses and trousers and office wear that I used to put on. And the reason why I wanted to show the t-shirt off was because it was a retreat that I was on that I bought this in Kerala, and I remember looking at it because I went into this shop where this guy does these hand painted images on the t-shirts, so this is handmade, and I went through, there was like stacks of t-shirts, and I went through them, and this one really stood out. And it's amazing, isn't it? Like, This was back in 2016. So 4 years on, I feel like this girl that's sitting on this beautiful flower looking out to the sunset is me. More like she started that journey then of exploration, but she's continued it, and it's like that sunset, which I think before looked like it was a distant possibility of, you know, just doing this, just sitting and looking at the sunset, just feels like it's so much more me every day. And so yeah, I just wanted to share that little story. And yeah, I guess from that, just say, like, you'll notice if you're, you know, thinking about making that shift from where you are and going down a different route, it is little things like this. Just noticing what catches your eye and why it catches your eye and why you buy it, or, you know, why you take time over that. Because that's the universe, going a bit woo-woo now, but that's the universe giving you signs. It's showing you what you truly want, what you truly desire, and it is possible to make that happen. So yeah, have belief, have faith. Okay, I'll leave it there. Have a good week, and I will catch up with you next week this time. Take care.